Mr. Deputy Speaker, the Honourable Minister for Finance has announced a budget that charts strategic paths for Singapore in the face of formidable headwinds. In particular, this budget will help us to confront and harness the forces of digital disruption as they interact with demographic shifts, Asia's growing ascendance in the world economy, and subsiding support for globalization. Indeed, even as the budget addresses the critical needs of lower-income households, it also seeks to boost the capabilities of our people and the companies that power our economic transformation. Hence, different schemes for companies such as innovation agents, SMEs Go Digital, and the automation support package are especially welcome. Minister Heng also spoke of the need for our people to have the skills, knowledge, and attitude to flourish in our fast-changing and technologizing world. In this regard, I would like to highlight 3 critical literacies we must seek to nurture in our people to help us all better adapt to our rapidly evolving environment. If the annual budget starts with A and B, I would like to speak today about literacies beginning with C, D, and E. These are cross-cultural literacy, digital literacy, and ethical literacy. The Minister had in fact raised the need to cultivate cross-cultural literacy among our young so as to broaden our regional and international connections. Allow me, therefore, to unpack the concept of cross-cultural literacy and explain how it is more crucial today than ever before. Cross-cultural literacy is the ability to understand and interact across different cultures in a manner that is sensitive to differences, yet respectful of diversity. To fortify our rich multicultural heritage, we must create more spaces and opportunities for meaningful cross-cultural understanding. Rather than simply trading in essentialist and simplistic caricatures of different cultures, we need to create forums where people are unafraid to ask tough questions of one another, confront their unconscious biases, and dispel long-held misconceptions. Cross-cultural interactions should be well developed, organized and supported by facilitators, failing which these encounters may create confusion, trigger misunderstandings, and at worst reinforce stereotypes and prejudices. Greater cross-cultural literacy can help to forge a more inclusive society where diversity is valued rather than frowned upon. Efforts to enhance cross-cultural literacy should be introduced not only in schools, but also in community and corporate events, so that working adults can also benefit. Ultimately, social ties that are undergirded by greater cross-cultural literacy will be more enduring and resilient. They can serve as a bulwark against threats such as online disinformation campaigns that seek to foment inter-ethnic discord. Beyond Singapore, our people must also inculcate a deeper understanding of our neighbours. Our region boasts of a rich cultural heritage and tremendous growth potential. And yet, many young Singaporeans view our regional neighbours as little more than holiday destinations. Many industry leaders I meet increasingly lament that Singaporeans are averse to job postings in the region, as they view them as being less glamorous and rewarding than those further afield. And yet, our region is home to fast-growing markets where there are many inroads to make significant impact. To better develop Singapore into a node both within Asia and globally, and ensure that our citizens are well placed to tap such opportunities, our schools from primary through to tertiary levels should make greater efforts to strengthen and deepen our students' appreciation of the region. Moving on to D for digital literacy. Singapore has done well in terms of providing access to digital devices and services. Schemes such as the new PC Plus and Home Access programs for low-income households and Enable IT for persons with disabilities have helped to make sure that all Singaporeans have basic access to digital technology. Fortunately, we do not face a significant issue of a digital access divide. However, we must be vigilant about any emerging digital skills divides that may find certain segments of our population less advantaged and less able to thrive in our digitalization push. I therefore welcome the Ministry of Communication and Information's Digital Readiness Blueprint and its recommendation that all citizens be equipped with a foundational set of digital skills. These pertain to managing information, communicating, transacting, and maintaining cyber safety. Going beyond the basic digital skills curriculum, however, we need to pay particular attention to providing support for specific demographic groups that may require more targeted assistance. For instance, how do we ensure that emerging adults from across the socio-economic spectrum are prepared for the job market in terms of knowing how to profile their competencies, utilize job portals, seek online career mentoring, and access skills upgrading programs? At the same time, we may wish to offer digital roadmaps for critical issues that everyone has to deal with. For example, how can individuals seek reliable health information online? And how can families obtain sound advice on managing household finances? In my research on parents with school-going children, I found that some parents were daunted by the online homework their children were given and felt deeply insecure about their inability to help their children. Indeed, our digitally connected world is constantly expanding in complex ways, with an ever-proliferating range of apps, portals, platforms, and content. As far as possible, therefore, we must offer signposts to help people navigate their way online and to make sense of the deluge of information they encounter. The final literacy I wish to speak on is ethical literacy. Because our society is becoming more digitalized, with a growing embrace of the Internet of Things, big data, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and automation, we must enhance the ethical literacy of our workforce to ensure that these technologies are deployed in the best interests of our society. Whether the solutions to our wicked problems are technologically or socially engineered, they must accord with our values and align with the ethical principles we collectively subscribe to. In this regard, we must vest our workforce with the competencies to recognize ethical issues where and when they present themselves, understand different ethical perspectives, and to apply these perspectives to help resolve ethical conundrums. Who should be given access to information about whom and for what purpose? How do we draw the line between customer orientation and surveillance? When should automated decision-making yield to human judgment? Controversies in big technology have shown how inattention to ethical considerations can lead to issues such as Facebook's Cambridge Analytica debacle and Uber using its technology to track users even when they are not using the apps. In this regard, the proposed Model Artificial Intelligence Governance Framework launched in January is both far-sighted and commendable. I look forward to it being disseminated across the relevant industry and education sectors so that we can develop Singapore into an innovation hub that places equal premium on creativity and ethicality. I would like to further suggest that ethical literacy be systematically phased into young Singaporeans' educational journeys, where we can consider refreshing and updating our civics and moral education curriculum to take into account emerging ethical dilemmas that are fast arising in Industry 4.0. In conclusion, Mr. Deputy Speaker, I believe the proposed budget will certainly advance our smart nation drive, but we should also complement it by inculcating in our people cross-cultural literacy, digital literacy, and ethical literacy. Thank you.